Aloha. I want to get vulnerable with you and talk about defeat and humility, something I've experienced recently. So if you follow my Instagram or my Instagram stories, you knew that I was at the Bulletproof Biohacking Conference this past weekend in Pasadena, one of my favorite events, a lot of where my health and wellness path started those years ago when I first went. But I really found myself pushed to my limit, my absolute limit. I discovered boundaries within myself, and I was humbled. I was humbled as a biohacker, as a yogi, as someone very interested in nutrition and wellness and like optimal health. I really felt the lowest I've ever felt after the conference due to a number of factors, including but not limited to too much stimulants and like neurotropics, not enough sleep, and a lack of meditation and mindfulness, a lack of being in the earth and the dirt. And I'm so used to being able to handle these things that I really got humbled. I really felt that darkness, and it felt terrible. It felt like I was helpless. It felt like I had lost my way, and I felt lonely. And it really woke me up. It shook me. I felt like the universe, like Jaw, was just like, oh, wake up. And I felt defeated. Defeat is the word that came up for me. I felt defeated. I felt like I had failed. And it really scared me. It really scared me. This video is hard for me to do. I'm so used to being in like full high power. And honestly, right now, I feel back in my power, which is why I want to share now and share this with you. If you're joining the video, I'd love for you to weigh in about something you're feeling, or if you want to be vulnerable and talk about, how you've been humbled, I would be happy to hold space for that. So yeah, the part of me that was so happy to be like always in the zone and always keeping pace and being creative and funny and social and doing all this health and wellness and sleeping 5 or 6 hours a night, that part of me got smacked down Monday. And wow, it was not easy for me to feel that. I felt like my armor was gone, and I never wanted to feel that way again. Now the good news is the same health and wellness, the same biohacks, the same mindfulness, meditation is what I created in my life to heal me. And over the past 2 days, I've just been going deep into healing, deep into self-care. And that's the other side of the pendulum I'd forgotten, was as much as I'm like, go, 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 more energy, more power, more creativity, more music, I'd forgotten the other side. More rest, more integration, more rejuvenation, more healing, more returning to the earth and grounding. And this is something I lost sight of. I lost sight of it, and it hurt really bad. And I wanted to share that with you because actually being vulnerable is powerful. I didn't want to do this video. I wanted to make music or inspire you, but I needed to do this. And now I feel so good. My heart feels light. I feel so empowered now, owning this part of me. And I'd encourage anyone out there to do the same. It doesn't have to be a Facebook Live, although you'd be a badass. But share your story. Someone in your community, someone on social media, even a stranger in a coffee shop. Can you be vulnerable and share what you've been dealing with? I've been posting a lot about like shift right now, and it's real. It's so real for me. I imagine it's the same for you. The shift is real. It's happening. I saw David Wolf shared a post the other day that was great. It's like, if you have a lot of shit in your life right now, congratulations, you're leveling up. You're leveling up. The resistance that's happening, the crazy like heaviness, the lack of purpose, the loneliness I felt, the bodily, the fatigue and just grind and sadness I felt at failing my health is all part of what's happening. I feel like a big contraction was happening, so now I can expand back out. I can expand out with love and power. And something that came to mind, it was a mantra for me that I want to help you see and maybe practice. And this is from a mentor and king and warrior that's deep to my heart, which is Elliot Hulse. And he talks about in his YouTube channel, the opposite of depression is expression. And I found that to be true the last few days. I wanted to just be silent and isolate. That's what vulnerability is for, is to open and express. But when you feel down, you want to isolate. I wanted to isolate and be alone. Ideally in nature, I just wanted to be in the woods. I had never craved the redwoods and the sequoias of Northern California more than the other day. I just wanted to be in the woods. So yeah, that's the power of vulnerability, is like, can you give other people permission to be vulnerable and let their shield down? Let yourself go. It's okay. It's okay to be hurtful. We're all hurting. We're all hurting. No one's not hurting. And if they aren't, they're lying. Or they're pretending. They're wearing a mask. And that's okay. I don't know any enlightened beings. Maybe you do. I've met people that seem like enlightened beings, that allow energy and compassion to flow through them most of the time. But even they, in their power, will admit that they still shed tears when they're alone. Not suffering, but the pain, the raw sensation of feeling down, the heaviness, the depression. It's real, and we're all feeling it. And it's okay. You don't have to shame yourself and judge yourself. I began to do that. I started to shame myself a little bit, and I was just like, why? Why am I doing this? My mantra is just no big deal. No big deal. This too shall pass. That's a powerful one. This too shall pass. Trust. Trust that this too shall pass. And that's what I really felt. It did pass, and it's passing. And I feel my power waxing again, and my compassion, my creativity and focus, it's all coming back to me. And it was never gone. I had merely put myself in a box of the small self, the ego self. And that's the last thing I want to leave you with. Share this video with your friends if you want to start a conversation on vulnerability and invite them to this conversation. I would love that if we could shed more vulnerability. Facebook's so vulnerable right now, social media. Thank you all the empowered women that have posted the Me Too. It's important that we have awareness and we shine light onto these cobwebs we all feel. I feel them every day, and I don't even look at the news. Don't read the Crisis News Network. Look at your community and your lovers and friends and your family and ask them about vulnerability. So the crazy realization I was having this morning in studying Osho, I consider myself a disciple in the Osho style and tradition, although maybe not a disciple of Osho. That language doesn't really make sense to me. But studying Osho in preparation to actually go train with Elliot Hulse and his powerful leadership and dynamic and active meditation and bioenergetics, I realized that there's always two entities, at least two inside of you, if you want to think about it like that. There's your small self, the ego self, that is a conditioned persona and self-image that's largely been created by your parents and society and your own habitual thinking and action. And then there's the higher self, or like the totality of yourself, the unconscious and conscious mind together, the heart mind together, which is beyond often the perception of the everyday self going about their activities, doing laundry, taking a shower, clocking into work, driving to the store. These are all conditioned activities. And so the practice of meditation is to separate the two so you can see and actually integrate them into wholeness and watch them. And what I realized had happened to me the other day, and why I felt so defeated and humbled, was because I had identified with the small self fully. And I felt despair because I lost my connection to God. God, or the higher self, the totality, whatever you want to call it or name it. I'd lost connection briefly, and I hadn't really lost it. I just lost the awareness. And through meditation, through sharing, through tears, and being radically honest with myself, I reconnected to that. And I refilled myself with that. It only takes one moment. You're always only one prayer away from your connection with the divine and your true self. I love you so much. You're doing great work. This too shall pass. No big deal. Shift happens. Namaste.